Okay, in this video, let's take a look at Sungjae Im's golf swing. Another good week for him out on the PGA Tour this week, Tournament of Champions. And just a great golf swing, great player, amazing career ahead of him. Love his putting stroke, love his golf swing, so let's take a look. So here we have a approach shot. He's going to hit this in there about 3 feet, which he does a lot. And interesting golf swing. The lines are non-traditional. Does allow him to hit a lot of different shots. As he goes back here, like a lot of guys, staying very low in the transition, keeping that posture very much the same. But he does have the club out there in front of him, and he bows that left wrist down quite drastically here. Certainly with the driver, we can really see it in the transition move. You actually see more of a bowing when he changes direction. The iron's not quite as much. You see more of that bowing here. And then here you can really see that's bowed down. That allows him to create a lot of lag because he does download it anyway. Gets a real download in the wrist action there, and that hands being that far in front. Club on the plane, that club head right smack on the plane here at the bottom. And with all that lag, keeps everything working so that his lines match up. And then releases it. And if he gets off those lines a little bit, since his hands are way off the original shaft plane, he could be subject to hitting some hooks if it was to get underneath. But because he makes this great move here, his arm plane is steep enough, and his down move, he stays low enough to keep him from getting up out of that plane. And like I said, he's probably incredibly versatile, can hit a lot of different shots with that action. If we look at this one here, we can really see club going up on a beautiful line on the way back. And more of a toe down look from at this point. I think a lot of players have it more skyward and more of a bowed wrist at this point. But he has that thing up there, a little toe down, and then he is going to get in the perfect position coming into the ball. Still looks open at this point, but then rolls it at the bottom here to get that club face square. And at this point, quite amazing look. That club face is almost dead square to the plane at that point. Left wrist bowed down, dead square, and releasing. Not what you could teach a lot of people to do, but he is great at it. And like I said, I think he just naturally had a beautiful swing, feel for the game. And like all great players we're seeing these days with that transition move, where they're not pulling the arms down hard, they're using the body, staying in posture. And there's that club face square to that plane. You can see it almost dead square. Coming in, which allows him to release it without a ton of rollover at the bottom, but also a ton of speed. And that type of move, you can, like I said, you can hit a lot of different shots, be very versatile. From the face-on view, we can see a fairly strong grip, not crazy strong, but fairly strong. Both hands turn a little more to the right, and he does roll it open, kind of old school there, cupping the left wrist with great hinge, and then this great down load action there. Sergio-esque at this point. You can see all the lag he's creating. And once again, if he didn't roll it at this point and try to get that face square early, he'd be in big trouble with all that lag. But much like a Sergio, gets it right in position and just rips it. If we look at the driver swing here, we can see great setup position once again. Toe rolling open, like we said, a little bit more of the old school on a great plane. Like I said, he'd be in trouble if he didn't have that rolling move coming down. That club face quite open here at the top, certainly compared to a lot of modern players. And right in this area, he already has taught himself, or was taught, to create this bowing action, to roll that wrist down, roll the forearm down. And he does it without pulling on the arm early. He actually rolls it later on this video, but I've seen some other ones with his driver where it really rolls early in the back in the transition move. And because that happens, as the club gets into this area right in here, it's already square. He can just rip it. And he gets very good accuracy because it is square. If he had it coming down wide open and had to roll it shut, it would be tougher to control. If we take a step here away from the swing and take a look at the putting stroke. Just love the way he gets this thing working. He looks very neutral at the setup here, where most players would have a little more press forward. Certainly very neutral, almost reverse pressing it. A lot of guys would be over here. But as he changes direction, just like his golf swing, he actually creates a slight bit of lag. And now you can see that entire shaft actually moving forward this way through the hitting zone. He's not necessarily swinging the club from the handle this way like a pendulum stroke. He's actually moving the entire club through, and then you'll see the club head swing through. And that is really allows him to control the club face beautifully. There it's all swinging together. That's my favorite type of putting stroke, where the handle and the club head are going the same speed at impact, like you see here. If you get a chance to watch him putt a little bit, watch that change of direction. So smooth, just like his full swing, which is very smooth and rhythmic. As he goes back, changes direction, a tiny bit of lag he creates with that putting stroke. Like his full swing, just a very, very tiny bit of lag here. That keeps the handle working in front through the hitting area and keeps those hands totally passive. Beautiful stroke. Just look for him to have a great career, and just that putting stroke will take you a long way. The last thing you'd notice if you watch him play a lot of golf is you actually see this amazingly slow backswing as the club works its way up to the top here. Incredibly slow, and then increases the acceleration and rips it on the way down. But if you're someone who struggles with rhythm or getting a backswing that's too fast, watch his videos at full speed. You'll see it's amazingly slow on the way up, and then really starts cranking it coming down. But it's not fast in the transition move, but it's very slow here. Slow, slow. Changes direction slow, and then speeds it up. And that's how he just kills it. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If it's your first time at the channel, please consider subscribing. If you like the video, hit that like button, and we'll see you in the next one.